He went out there, he got you an edge. He got you a guy that's going to get to the quarterback. He got you a guy that's already first amongst active players in total pressures and sacks and hurries and quarterback hits and all that good stuff on this team. So shout out to him for making sure that we get somebody to help.
Yeah, not only somebody to help, the guy to help. You know, when you break it down, listen, we all had that wish list. We all had the pie in the sky of Max Crosby or Myles Garrett. But it turns out those dudes weren't for sale. You know, Max Crosby, I guess we can take him as a man of his word when he says, I ain't leaving. This is my squad.
Not a man of his word when he said he wants to win, though.
That's the weird thing, right? Like, D-Mac, how do you convince a guy like a Max Crosby, who is as loyal as they come, that the position that he's in will never benefit his career and that he should leave and come with us? Like, how could they have made that happen? Or do you just think if a guy's like, no, it's not going to happen, you can't convince a guy like Crosby?
But it's also, too, is top stars got to want to change, right? So whatever else that he says, and he obviously has made his point that he doesn't want to leave being a Raider no matter what, so he's going to, stick it through, so to speak. Yes, obviously if you want to win and stay there, that's a dichotomy, but I think it's more important for him to stick it out even more for whatever reason. So you got the top stars got to want to leave, and he definitely made it a point that he didn't.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you move forward. What I like to hear about, Za'Darius Smith is that, yes, he's not, that superstar game changer by himself, but what he is he's a complete defensive end that's going to help the rest of everything you need here. And as of late, he's played his best football of the year. So why would that not continue?
I love this comment by Donovan Strong in the chat. It's called tampering, Stick. That's how you get him to come here. And, maybe they didn't do enough tampering, but Brad Holmes is an above-water guy, and he went and got the premier defensive end. I mean, even Jim Rome, one of my favorite sports guys, he was commenting, like, the Lions won.
He's still around?
Yeah, he's still around. You don't hear him as much. They tried to silence the Rome army, but no, he's still around. And he was saying that the Lions, they won the trade deadline. They got the best player at the best position of need that they could get. That was the only defensive end of that caliber available, and they hit the market with a 5th and a 6th round pick, only paying $605,000, not million, $1,000. That's like nothing. And then you can pay him next year. Supposed to be an $11 million cap hit, but the Lions will only have to absorb $5 million of that if they want to keep him.
And they got to easy out in case things don't go according to plan, which we all think they will, but just saying. They do have easy out there.
Yeah, no, so, sorry. Overall, ecstatic about this young man coming to the Lions.
No, absolutely. Spenny, didn't Coach Campbell have some words to say about that also?
Yeah, we do. We have Coach Campbell talking with Dan Miller.
Za'Darius Smith, what does he bring to the team?
Yeah, he look, man, it's good to get him here. He brings an element of toughness. Smart football player, can set an edge, can get an edge and rush, close the pocket down. He's just a really good complementary piece.
I know there are audio issues, but the bottom line is Cole's notes on it is he's a complete defensive end that will allow you to get pressures. And with what we have already on this team, he will be an asset to him. So true professional is what he said at his position.
And that's what you're finding with every player on the Detroit Lions, right? When you look at up and down this roster, talent level, you can debate with a lot of people, but professionalism is almost undebatable. Outside of J-Mo, and I'm not here to, do anything to J-Mo, but that's probably the only guy you could knock on this entire roster for not being quote-unquote professional.
Yeah.
Even though I don't agree with half the crap that gets thrown at that kid.
Thank you.
But either way, you look at Amon-Ra St. Brown, consummate professional, constantly working on his craft. Jared Goff, constantly working on his craft. Penei Sewell, constantly getting better, even though he is quite literally the best tackle in the NFL. So all these guys, so that mold fits. And what do we talk about all the time with this Dan Campbell team is culture. So it's awesome that Za'Darius Smith not only is as talented as he is, but he's a guy that Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell feel that would fit with this locker room.
Well, that's number one. I think is that the fit has to be there first,
Yep.
and talent second, that's when you know that you've built something. So what does that say about you, right? We're arguably, when we look around the league from the top prognosticators, right, that have the Lions either at 1 or 2 with Kansas City, who I think we all agree by the eyeball test. No, but
Lions are.
I was thinking about Kool-Aid's top 10 list this morning.
Should be good to go with the video.
okay,
now.
all right, by the eyeball test. Right, the Detroit Lions are the best team in football. And when the best team in football is making the best trade deadline moves that are out there for them to not only solidify with the best player at the position that is needed, that's when you're cooking on all cylinders. Guys want to come here and stick. You did it at your price.
Right.
You didn't let anybody else dictate to you. You stuck to your game plan. So we're seeing Brad Holmes operate on every elite level that a GM does, and that is, one of the reasons. So, keep cooking. Just as well as the Lions are cooking on the field, he's cooking off.
I love it.
Damn right.
How much do locker rooms pay attention to what other locker rooms added? I know, the professional line is, look, we're going to take care of business. We focus on ourselves. But when you're in the division and you notice that your division rival adds the best trade deadline acquisition, does it send shockwaves, or does it just not matter?
No. That aspect on the top of the league, right, where everybody's looking at the paper and reading the paper no matter what and going, oh, okay, they added that. That's going to be good. Let's dive deeper where it means more in this young man here in Za'Darius Smith, who has played in Green Bay, who has played in Minnesota.
Yep.
So in Minnesota and Green Bay, go from the players to the coaches to whatever, go Detroit just picked up Z. Oh, shit. Right? Because they know what a consummate professional is. He is. So right now, Green Bay, the Green Bays and the Minnesotas, who we are battling for this North with, right, are the ones that know the most what they're gonna get, and that's why it hits even deeper in this division and this move specifically.
KG, you weren't here yesterday, and
No,
we all kind of discussed this at length yesterday. But what's your opinion about this acquisition? Are you jumping through the roof? Are you okay with it? Did you want more?
Well, at first I wanted more, but overlooking this thing and seeing how they've performed with Aiden gone, I feel like this is enough to get them over the hump. And when you look at the compensation that they had to give up, you look at, the fact that Brad Holmes wouldn't even let them get a 4th-round pick. They were trying to extort him for a 4th-round pick. He didn't let that happen. You look at next year. Aiden finally has his bookend edge rusher for next year. I think next year we're going to see the benefits of this even more than this year. But as far as this year goes, you get him and Josh Pascal back. You got those guys on the interior still, DJ Reader, Aleem McNeil, Levi O. They should be able to make this work and get over the hump. It's still yet to be seen. But Brad Holmes was going to make a move. He was always going to make a move. And I'm just happy that, for once, our name are in the headlines and we went and got our player.
Yeah, I was checking the Vegas odds before and after the Super Bowl odds for the trade-in. It helped the odds. Was it the plus 120 it added to the line?
Yep.
What is going on out here? Sirens
Civil War.
going. There's an accident going on right here on Woodward.
Right.
Uh-oh, it's already started, KG.
I knew this shit was going to come.
D-Mac, they're coming for you. Sending you back to Canada.
KG, the fear's coming true. The
Yeah,
South is
man.
rising
It
again.
happened so
I told
quick,
y'all,
KG.
bro.
It happened so quick.
I told y'all, man. Oh, man. Good times. Good times.
I forgot what the hell I was even saying. What?
We're talking about Za'Darius
Super Bowl
Smith.
odds.
Huh?
Super Bowl odds.
Super Bowl odds, yeah. So Vegas sees this as an improvement in the Super Bowl odds for the Lions. They see that one move, adding this one guy, helps your odds to win the Super Bowl. So to me, when it happened, I didn't get the jump through the roof. Yeah, we did it. I wasn't over the top crazy happy that they made this trade. I was obviously happy they made the trade, but it didn't make me think that this team jumped up an incredible amount. I already thought they were at a 9.5. This puts them at a 9.7, maybe 10, right? But I already thought they had the tools to get where they need to go. It's just now they have a little bit more depth. Yep. Now they have a piece you got to scheme against, and I can't wait to see what it does for Aleem McNeil and DJ Reader on that line. They were the ones kind of taking the onus on them and making sure that they were getting the push up the middle because we couldn't get the edge rush. Now they can kind of have a little bit more fun down there, run some different stunts. You know, they got a new toy to play with.
Yeah, and I said this on the morning show, and I felt like 97-1 yesterday kind of hit this on the head perfect.
What?
You're not really, and I got to give credit
What?
where it's due, but you're not really replacing Aiden Hutchinson. You're more so replacing Marcus Davenport and what he brought to the table. And when you look at it
And
from
you
that
improve.
aspect, then, you know, this is a good trade.
Isn't this an improvement on Davenport too? Because availability.
Yeah, when healthy, yeah.
fact,
but
yeah.
Za'Darius Smith is available, right? To the fact, and hopefully it continues to be. I think, Kenny, you brought up a great point that we're not looking to and we shouldn't, because we should be focused on the now. But again, this doesn't benefit. This isn't just a rental player for this year. This is a guy that can be effective for next year, like you said, where you got, oh, hey, the Lions' ends are Za'Darius Smith and Aiden Hutchinson.
Yep.
How
With a
good are
Lean
you?
McNeil and DJ Reader. That
Right.
speaks to me the best defensive line in the league, arguably.
Yeah, next year is going to be fun. But I don't want to already start thinking about
No,
next
I
year.
know.
We got
I get it.
business
I
to
get it.
handle this year.
That's right.
We got a Super Bowl to get to. We got a Super Bowl to
got
win.
Super Bowl
And
to
that's
win.
what ultimately this trade will be measured by. Do you get to the Super Bowl? Do you win the Super Bowl? That's what this trade will be graded off of, unfortunately. That's just the waters that we in now.
Yeah, and one of the things that stood out to me yesterday, too, is the other teams were sellers in our division. The Bears got rid of Khalil Herbert.
Yeah.
You know, the Packers got rid of a guy that wasn't really playing a ton for them, but they still unloaded pieces. Like, they weren't acquiring assets. Nobody else in the division got better.
Yeah.
Nobody. The Lions are the only team in the NFC North to get better at the trade deadline, and they were already the best team in the NFC North. So I don't know what the hell the rest of the division's trying to do, but to me it showed that they're kind of conceding, and it's just like, okay, this is the Lions' year. This is not our time to make a move, not our time to give up assets, because in the end, they're just going to beat our ass anyways.
Right.
I don't care if you got 3 fingers and 1 ass cheek. It's going to happen.
Damn right.
I seen you guys got Za'Darius Smith. How do you feel about that? I mean, shoot, you play with him. You tell me. I'm excited. He's a dog. I ain't gonna lie. He's a dog. Like, I've seen him like blow up. Like in Green Bay, we used to move him like inside too, and he used to blow up just anybody. Like just double team. I seen him in practice. We tried to double team him, like guard center maybe. He just blew the whole shit open. Just fucked the whole play up. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah. He has dope ass. He's a lit dude, good dude too. Like good teammate, great celebrations too after sacks. Like,
oh yeah, we're gonna bring the celebrations up too.
Yeah. No, he's lit. He's a good player and he's lit. Like that's good. That's gonna be good for you guys. Like I like him a lot actually.
Culture, right, D-Mac? That's a cult. I mean, even
How
you just
cool. I'm just thinking of this, right? Like that, the cool part of technology and social media, the fact is that the in-between, right? What we get right now, these two brothers that are in the division against each other. But if you watch the St. Brown's podcast, what's it called?
St. Brown Brothers podcast.
Whatever it is, right? Like they literally let you into how they legitimately, there's no act to anything else. They dog each other, but they talk for real. That's how guys really talk about other players and stuff that have been in, and what's he like? You played with him. Oh man, and you have this sort of respect to me without, right? Because what do we taught growing up, right? You can't let your defense down. You can't dude, yeah, he might work out, he might not. You're not going to let, even if it's your brother in front of the world, but you're going to say, oh man, he's going to be good for you guys. Oh, this guy's great sellies too. Like, he's got to be a great guy in your locker room, which is pumping your tires. It's crazy, but I love it. I love it. That little. And in wrestling they call it the kayfabe, right? Behind the curtain, we're getting.
well, and it's a trusted source, right? If I can't trust my brother to tell me the truth, who can I trust?
But look at them, the way they talk.
Right.
And if you watch any of these clips, even more so, it's not you understand when guys are talking. That's like the way that anybody else could. It's really relatable. I guess that's the point I'm saying to make it. So if you haven't caught it with the interviews that they have, but like you said, you get the real thing. I'm more excited about Za'Darius Smith from hearing those comments by somebody that's played with him.
Yeah, I like that they're adding a personality to the team because, say what you want, losing Hutch's presence of what he can do football-wise is one thing, missing the Billie Jean dance and missing all the fun with the sax on. Like, it's going to be fun to have a guy that brings that type of energy to the squad.
To your point, that's that locker room. And
Yeah.
Hutch doesn't miss, like, yeah, he misses the sacks and being out there and grinding with the guys, but it's all the stuff in between that you miss as a teammate, with your guys.
Well, let's be honest, right? That's part of the reason why you and Braylon are here at Woodward Sports. I mean, there's many other things you guys could be doing, but like part of the reason, or at least I feel that it brings you guys here is we have a locker room mentality.
Yeah,
we have a team. We get to
be.
joke around with each other. We get to fuck with each other. We get to talk about things that friends talk about that in public sometimes wouldn't be okay conversation. You know, like KG and I were talking about politics between the show and just trying to understand each other a little more on those
here's
things.
the one thing,
and it's never it's a locker room thing. We know we're on the same team no matter what.
Exactly.
And it's for point of view, right?
Right.
To your same line, it's like, don't tell me what, tell me who. And that's what with here Woodward over the years trying to build is guys who are invested in each other, right? What do I always say? It doesn't matter what team. It's like you're successful when the guy beside you is more important. Now in the business relationship, how does that? It means like, do you take care of your stuff so that he can take care of his? Do you put your teammates in the best position? That's what we try to do. So, and it's also too is like when I don't understand something, I gotta be able to ask questions to not be dumb. And where do I go with trusted sources? And a lot of times, we use it for a lot of ways, but everybody comes from different places, so it's perspective and trusted perspective.
Well, I'm glad we can at least provide you with that locker room feel too, D-Mac. Like because I didn't play. Obviously, I didn't play professional. I didn't make it past high school, but I still miss like the locker room stuff in high school.
You
right?
have softball championships. You know what it's like.
Well,
no. But what I'm saying is that camaraderie to accomplish. We're on the same mission as we're building something to accomplish with everybody else in the city that we all love together. There's a commonality to what we want to get with the teams now. Finally, right?
They're here.
We're getting there.
Yeah, I'm right.
It's been a long road. I remember Woodward Sports started in 2020, and every team was at its basement, the absolute basement. But it also was like, hey, if we can do okay now, just imagine when these teams are winning, and now we're seeing with the Lions doing what they do. But I love that they threw that in there about the celebrations. Like you said, that's more than just the statistics, right? It shows a little bit more about the character of the guy, what he's gonna bring, how he's gonna fit in. Because if Spenny's like, hey, my boy wants to come work with you, and you guys are gonna love him. Like, he brings great energy. That adds more to he can just get the job done.
I was more impressed with the fact that he was blowing up guys at practice. That's what I'm tripping over. Like, yes, man, we got an actual pass rusher in here, and not to discredit anybody else, but what they picked up on is a leader. That's something they were missing with Hutch not being in that locker room is that leadership, man. They got a professional to come in here. He's going to come in here, and he's going to be able to contribute. This is a guy that's had double-digit sacks 3 seasons, maybe 4 now with us. I feel like it's a good chance he can get to 10 sacks, man, but I'm really just relieved that they have that presence now, kind of filling that void that Aiden left, like you said, when he...
Yeah, just wait till Aiden and him start vibing on the field together.
It's gonna be great.
And then when they meet at the quarterback and smash Sam Darnold into the ground together.
I think a thing that's going kind of under the radar is when EQ in that said when they were in Green Bay together, they used Za'Darius on the inside sometimes to get him in different things. Terrell Williams is one of the best defensive line coaches in the NFL. He's going to be able to move him around, put him in situations where he's going to be the most beneficial for the defense.
Unbelievable. That's what it's saying. It just stacks on stacks on stacks right here. Like, as far as winning trade deadline, in the ether of the NFL, adding to your division, like you said earlier, if you count Minnesota making a move last week, for an offensive line guy, it doesn't move the needle for me. So, you bring that's the biggest thing too, Spenny. We can't forget. Look at the coaching staff we have here. And I know somebody's worried who said it in the chat about Ben Johnson going to Chicago. I don't think Ben Johnson's going anywhere right now. There's mission to be had, like the Super Bowl. So,
Well, Ben Johnson had some interesting comments about if he was a head coach. We could talk about that during the show. I know it's not on the prep, Spenny, so let's get to that during the show. But I want to acknowledge some of the people in the Woodward Sports chat. Key Ozzy, MCDC, and Brad Holmes only recruit dogs. What up, chat? And that's the truth, man. It's so crazy how they have a type.
And by the way, if a professional athlete that has played with you calls you a dog, that means you're like a double dog. That means like you're a dog to that. It's even the extra stamp of approval of being a dog.
Dimsdale double dog.
Absolutely same thing.
Michael Daniel said, "Let's go Lions." Mike O, softball teams are a blast. Actually, yeah, Space Dogs. Let's go Space Dogs. Let's see. Sound Kayak, I should have moved back to Michigan sooner. I'm assuming he's talking about the sports teams and how fun they're having.
Shout out.
Yep, shout out. So, yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat right now. Make sure you're liking. Make sure you're subscribing and doing all that fun stuff. I mean, the Lions made a big move yesterday. Is he going to play this Sunday?
Yes.
I mean, and if he is, how much of an impact is he going to have? Do you want to discuss that next?